That's me, the prodigal son, complete with baggage. Since when are you up so early?
Well, I've been up for hours waiting for you. I wanted to be the first one to officially welcome you home. Oh, I'm so glad to see you.
Well, you're not going to see me for long. I'm just going to get cleaned up and get back over to the courthouse.
Well, at least let me make you a breakfast or something nice like that.
Why are you whispering?
I don't want anyone to know you're here. If Cece hears us talking, he's going to come down here and monopolize you. I know it. Come on, sit down and relax.
Oh, no, Gina, I really don't have time. Good. You got my message.
Hi.
Hi.
You got any more on that shirt?
What shirt?
It's all right.
Well, we think we have a line on the shirt Christie's rapist was wearing the night he attacked her.
Cruz has been questioning all the people in the area who've bought the shirt within the last couple of months. How many have you talked to so far?
24 so far, and not a one had a tie-in with Christie.
Are there any others?
Well, I got people working on them, but I don't know what we're going to come up with. I think it's pretty doubtful we'll have anything by the time you have to put her back on the stand today.
You're going to cross-examine her again today?
Yeah, I have to pick up where I left off when the DA had his unfortunately timed infarction.
Speaking of which, I understand Steve Bassett's going to be taking over the case.
The judge gave him the go-ahead yesterday. It doesn't make my job any easier.
Oh, Mason, nothing's going to throw you. You're doing a fantastic job.
If I can jolt Christie into changing her testimony, I'll agree with you. There's no if about it. Got to.
You're absolutely positive you've never seen this shirt before?
No, I told you.
Is that the tone of voice you're going to use with Mason Capel? You're going to let him get you upset?
No.
Can't hear you, Christie.
I said no, I'm not going to let him get me upset.
Then let's see how you do plan to behave. What do you think we're here for?
Don't ask me that. We've gone over this 1,000 times.
And we'll go over it 1,000 more. If you can't convince me, you can keep your cool today. Mason's going to badger you, Christie. He'll make you repeat yourself over and over, just hoping for one slip that he can use against you. Only trying to make sure you're prepared. Don't you understand that?
Well, aren't you afraid of overdoing it
We can't overdo it. That's why we're in the courtroom now, so that this thing feels as much like the real thing as possible. You want to win this case or not?
I don't know what I want.
It's not the answer I wanted to hear. Let's get back to work. Mr. Val, you say you've never come into contact with the shirt in question, but yet fibers from this shirt were found on your dress after you were brought to the hospital. How do you explain that?
I wore the dress a couple times. I guess I could have brushed up against someone's shirt. Maybe it was while I was dancing. Or a crowded bus.
You say you were out dancing the same night you were raped?
No, the night before. I told you I wore the dress a couple days in a row.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Just don't make it sound like you memorized it, okay? Okay, and when he goes on to ask you about the foreign material under your fingernails.
The what?
I explained that. There was foreign matter under your fingernails that was not Ted's skin.
Of course it wasn't. It was yours.
You crazy. Anybody could walk in here.
What's wrong? I thought my big bad stepbrother could talk his way out of anything.
I don't have to remind you what's going to happen to Ted if you don't go through with our plans, do I? Do I?
No.
Better play it right today, sweetheart. Exactly right. Because like it or not, you're in this up to your neck. There's no turning back.
Kelly.
Hi, Nick.
Would you care to join me for breakfast?
Is there anything to eat here? I didn't think we had food.
I brought a few simple things along in my trusty knapsack. But first, I have to set the table. Yeah, this will do. Now, I wish I could have found a dozen red roses, but all I found was this honeysuckle.
Smells good.
Yeah, nice, huh? Now, this is going to be kind of a one-note breakfast, but crepe Suzettes don't travel very well. There. Yep. Help yourself.
Thanks.
Well, let's not be pigs about this, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want the grapes?
No, I just want you to relax.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know it's kind of basic fare, but it certainly is a lot tastier than the stuff we had the last time we were here.
Yeah. What was that stuff we had?
Hard attack.
Yeah.
Well, we were so sick of that stuff we could hardly stand it. And then you had a field day when you found those berries. Finally, something fresh and what you thought was edible.
That's right. And it was poisonous or something, right? And I got sick.
Deathly. Scared me half to death.
And then you gave me something to drink. I
Right.
remember that taste.
Right. I concocted some herbal potion. That seemed to do the trick.
Well, I guess I should thank you then.
You already did. Well, it's going to be a beautiful day out today. I could see that when I saw the sun come up.
Did you watch the sunrise?
I was thinking about something you said before.
About what?
Well, you stayed awake all night in this very same room and watched the sunrise once. Don't you remember that? Why, Kelly, my free spirit. I never loved you more than at that moment.
Nick, please.
Unless maybe now.
No. I don't know how to be that person.
Kelly, I've missed you so much. Kelly, look at me.
Will you please go away? I don't want to talk about this, Nick.
You can't pretend this didn't happen, not when you're starting to remember.
I don't want to remember, all right? And it's not even like remembering. It's like I'm watching a movie and it's playing somebody else's part.
That was you. It wasn't you playing another part. It was you, Kelly. It was a part of you you haven't been in touch with in a long time.
How do you know? You didn't know me before. You don't know a thing about me now.
I know that you stopped living when Joe died.
I loved him, Nick.
Of course you did, and no one wants to take that away from you, but that doesn't mean you can't love again.
It's too soon anyway. And I'm not like that. I mean, how could I have gone to bed with somebody I hardly even knew?
You fell in love. It happens that way sometimes. It was sudden, it was immediate, it was totally, unmistakably right. We both knew that in our hearts.
Then how come I don't feel it now?
Because when your memory came back, all the pain came back with it. All the anguish and the emptiness that you felt when you lost Joe. But now you know what's underneath that. All the innocence and the joy that's waiting to be reborn. It was reborn right here in this place, and it was beautiful to watch.
It wasn't reborn at all for me. That's all I feel is confused right now.
It wasn't all like that. One of the wonderful things about being here was the fact that it was just so simple. Loving you, discovering each other. That's all we had to think about, and every day was perfect.
Life's not like that. You're talking about some kind of fantasy world.
In a way, it was like that, but it was our reality. We believed in it and we built it. And isn't that all you really need to make something true? I mean, that marriage we had down there was as real for me as anything in a church could have been.
We got married?
Yes, don't you remember that?
I remember now. I can't believe I did that. Marriage is sacred. I know how it's supposed to be. Don't you understand that? I had a real wedding once.
Ours was real, too. Those promises were real.
Not like I had with Joe, it wasn't.
Kelly, that was different. But ours meant something, too.
I don't know.
When you told me you loved me, you meant that.
But it wasn't based on anything real, Nick.
I don't buy that at all. What we had together is still there now. And if you choose to bury it, you're going to be running away for it, and you're going to cheat yourself, and you're going to cheat us.
I'll see you downtown.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Been a big help to me in preparing the case. I owe him a lot.
Yes, I know he's helped you, but you're the one who's actually out there in front of the judge and everybody.
Yeah, let's just hope I haven't lost my momentum.
Mason, welcome. Glad you didn't change your mind about coming back.
Yeah, no, I just, I bought a few things over. I'm, gonna shower and then get over to the courtroom.
Oh, well, you can't use the shower in your room because it's being retiled, so why don't you use Kelly's room for the time being?
Oh, all right, fine. I better get a move on.
I think I'm going to go over to the courthouse, take a chance on speaking with Ted before the trial starts. Do you think it's worth a try?
Yeah, but I think you'd have a better chance after court adjourns. Go ahead and give it a shot, though.
All right.
See you.
Gina, are you coming?
No, I'm not quite ready yet. You go ahead. I'll see you there.
All right. See you later.
Turn this morning, sugar. I went to call you for breakfast and I couldn't find you anywhere.
Well, that's my fault. I wanted to go over some strategy with her, so we took off early.
That's what I thought. Should be an interesting day.
Well, you've been doing great, honey. I'm sure everything's going to be just fine.
Just watch out for Mason now. He's been trying to throw you off, and he's going to do it again. But don't let him undermine your confidence.
I've explained all that. I think Christy's ready for him. She knows what the truth is. All she has to do is stick to it. Isn't that right, Christy?
That's right.
Bassett, got a message you wanted to see me?
Yes, I do. I hope you've got something to tell me, Inspector.
About what?
Oh, what else? This supposed breakthrough evidence, this shirt that's supposed to bust the case wide open. Did it lead you anywhere yet?
We're working on it.
You're wasting your time.
That's okay, it's my time.
I thought I warned you about trying to undermine the prosecution's case.
Look, I'm just trying to make sure that everything pertinent gets its day in court. You wouldn't be trying to suppress evidence, would you, Steve?
I just want to be kept informed of any new discoveries, Castillo. That's my right and privilege.
Well, like I told you, we haven't made any new discoveries as yet.
Well, what do you have? You've been running down everybody who bought this shirt, right?
We still have several people on the list to contact.
Yeah. Well, can I see your copy?
Be my guest.
Gina? For the love of... Gina, I'm flattered. I really am.
Oh, Mason, don't waste your time being flattered. We have more important things to do.
No, I wish I could, Gina.
But you could. You can. We're the only two people in the house. Eden is at work. Kelly's away. Brandon is with the sitter, and Cece went to the courthouse. Oh, Mason, it's just wonderful to have you here. Whenever I need you, I know you're just a few doors down the hallway. It's been so lonely for me. Everyone's very polite, but they treat me like a stranger. It's a terrible feeling.
I know, Gina.
Put your arms around me. I want to feel and hold me.
No, look, Gina, even if I weren't pressed for time, my mind is not here, okay? If I don't ask the right questions today, my brother could go to jail.
But you will ask the right questions. You're a wonderful lawyer.
No, I appreciate your confidence in me, Gina, but the truth of the matter is that I need some time alone before I walk into the arena, as it were.
The arena? You sound like some kind of matador.
No, not quite, but the courtroom's not without its share of bull.
Well, all right. I'll be good. But only because I want you to win that case as much as you do. But when you get back home, I won't take no for an answer. I'll give you fair warning. When I come knocking at the door, you better be ready to let me in.
Gina, I want you to put that idea out of your mind right now.
But Mason, what are you saying?
I'm saying not in this house. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, don't be such a worrywart.
Gina, it's too risky. Take my word for it. Now, if we want some time together, we'll have to do it someplace else. Would you please get some clothes on?
I can't do what you're asking me to do.
You can't or you won't.
You're asking me to pretend like the only thing that meant anything to me was the 3 weeks I spent here with you.
I'm not.
And I don't even remember those 3 weeks.
Kelly, I don't want you to throw any of your memories away. I want the entire person complete. The good memories and the bad. For better or for worse. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say is what happened here is part of you too and you're running away from it. Worse or tonight, you're trying to deny it. And it's wrong.
You know, it's still fuzzy, Nick. I look down at the street and it's as if it's a dream to me.
I think part of the reason it feels like a dream is that So much of what happened here was too good to be true. I mean, this whole town was totally ours. We could do anything we wanted with this place. Rename it. You did.
I did?
Yeah. Nickley Gulch for Nick and Kelly. This was our own kingdom. We never wanted to leave here.
But we did leave.
Yeah, I had to get you back to your family. I knew they were worried about you. So we waited until it was safe, and then we left. But even then, we stuck around longer than we needed to. We were terrified that the real world was going to ruin what we had here. And if I knew how right we were, I never would have had the strength to leave.
There's something I want to know.
What?
I know we made love, but only once, right?
No?
More than once?
Yes?
How many times?
I can't tell you that.
Why not?
Because one time flowed into the next and the next. Sometimes it seemed like we spent the whole day just loving. Remember that, don't you? I can tell that you do. And Kelly, those memories, they're beautiful.
No, they're not.
Kelly!
They're not beautiful memories to me. You took advantage of me. You knew how I felt about Joe. You knew how precious he was to me. And the minute you had the chance to get back at that, you took it. You knew I wasn't myself, Nick, but you didn't care just as long as you got what you wanted.
Yeah, I've been thinking, and I got a proposition for you. Hold on a second.
Sorry to interrupt, but they're opening the courtroom and people are going in, Steve.
Well, just sit tight. I'll be done in a second. We'll all go in together, okay?
Mason Capwell isn't here, though. Shouldn't he be here by now?
Well, what do we care? If he holds things up, the judge will chew him out but good, and I won't mind a bit. I'm sorry, Agent. This place is a zoo. I'm telling you, in a few days I'm going to be ready for a nice long vacation. Which brings me to my proposition. How'd you like to spend a couple of weeks in the south of France? Nice. Yeah, I'm serious. Was so full of surprises. Good. Glad you like the idea. There's only one little catch. I want you to be at the airport by noon. Honey, we're talking once in a lifetime here. Great. Just get to the international terminal, Global Airlines. I'll make sure my travel agent has everything there for you. I'll call you tomorrow when I have a better idea when I can get away. Right. Bye.
Funny, I'm surprised Mason hasn't arrived yet.
And they said he was going to take a quick shower at the house and then be on his way. You know, he looked like he'd been up all night long trying to think of a way to get that girl to tell the truth.
Mr. Capel, what do you think your chances are?
No more questions. Dad, where's Mason?
He's on his way, son. Don't worry. Let's go.
Right, the ticket should be in the name of Adrian St. Martin. Adrian St. Martin. Yes, as soon as possible, so she can make the noon flight. Right, thanks. Well, cutting it a little close, aren't you, Mason? Thought maybe you weren't going to show up at all.
You're not getting off that easy, Bassett. After you.
I'll just sneak in quietly. I've been here before. I know where to go.
Court's in session. You're gonna have to wait outside.
Are you sure? They're not letting anyone in, Gina. Isn't that right, sir? We have to wait outside.
Well, maybe when I explain who I am, it'll be a different story. I'm Gina Capwell. I'm related to the defendant.
In a manner of speaking.
What did you say?
You're related by marriage, Gina. It's not exactly like you're Ted's mother.
I'm a member of the family, Santana. I belong here.
Too late. You're gonna have to wait until the court is in recess.
The man's an officer of the court, Gina. It just wouldn't do for you to go into one of your scenes. It would look bad for Ted.
I'm not going to make a scene. I'm perfectly capable of waiting.
I'm surprised to see you here at all.
Why? I'm a Capwell. I belong here.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Brandon. It's my mother's day off. Who's taking care of him?
He's with a babysitter. They went to the park.
I would think that you would like to spend a lot more time with him after being gone for so long. And instead, you've got all kinds of things to occupy yourself with.
First of all, it's none of your business how I occupy myself. Second of all, I'm not at the beach or something. I would much rather be with Brandon than in a stuffy courtroom, but my place is here.
Oh, yes, showing Capwell solidarity.
You're the one who should explain your presence. I didn't understand what you're doing here.
I did a lot of growing up in that house, Gina. Ted is like family. I care just as much as anyone in that courtroom about him.
And of course it wouldn't hurt to have Cece watching you wringing your hands with the best of them, Well, do you think he's going to change his mind about letting you into Brandon's life because of this?
Brandon has nothing to do with my being here. Not everyone has an ulterior motive.
Right. Your motives are as pure as the driven snow. Fortunately, I have better things to do than discuss them.
The sample fibers taken from your skin and clothing on the night of July 17th, a Wednesday, indicating that you had been in close contact with someone wearing a gray knit shirt with stripes of blue, orange, and red. Let the jury note that the defendant has been described as wearing a completely different type of shirt containing none of the aforementioned colors. Christie, can you explain how these fibers came to be on your person?
Well, I guess there could be a lot of reasons.
Well, we'd like some specific ones, if you don't mind.
Well, I wore the dress a couple days in a row, and I had been to a lot of places that were pretty crowded. So it's not unusual that I could have brushed up against somebody wearing the shirt that you described.
Well, we're talking about a bit more than brushing up against someone.
Well, I had went dancing the night before.
The night before you were raped?
Yeah, that could explain it, couldn't it?
Well, you're telling me you danced with someone wearing the type of shirt I just described to you.
Well, I don't know. I could have. I danced with quite a few people. But one of them could have been wearing the shirt that you're talking about. And also, I went to the department store, and the elevator was pretty jammed. We were packed like sardines, and it could have happened then, too.
So we are to assume that the shirt I described to you is not something that you can associate with any one particular person. Is that correct?
It sounds like a lot of shirts. I can't really say.
Does this refresh your memory at all? Christie?
No.
Well, could you speak up a little bit more, please? Have you or have you not seen this shirt before?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I could have seen this shirt before. I don't know. I don't remember.
Then you concede you might have seen this shirt before. Is that what you're trying to say?
I told you I don't know.
The witness is trying to answer the question to the best of her ability. This is badgering on the part of counsel.
Sustained. I believe you've exhausted this line of questioning, Mr. Capwell.
Yes, Your Honor. All right, Christie, we have established that there are other ways that the fibers conceivably could have become adhered to your body. I'd like to draw the court's attention to something else. These are fingernail scrapings that were taken at the same time the fibers were collected. This is Exhibit C, the scrapings taken from under the witness's fingernails after she was admitted to the hospital on the night of July 17th. Now, previous testimony has already established that portions of these scrapings contain fragments of Ted Capwell's skin. There was, however, other material also identified as human skin that is yet to be identified. Christie, do you have any idea where this unidentified skin might have come from?
No, I don't know.
Now, please recall that a member of the police department has already testified that you might have scratched someone else that night. You think you might have done that, Christie?
I don't know.
Well, think back carefully. Did you quarrel or argue with anyone other than Ted Capwell on the night of your rape? Christie, please answer the question.
I'm trying to remember.
Did you have any kind of altercation with any other person other than Ted Capwell, Christie? Your Honor, would you please instruct the witness to answer the question?
The witness will please answer.
The witness is refusing to answer. I submit that she is afraid to because the answer is yes.
Objection. Your Honor, the witness is not being given a fair chance to answer because defense counsel is deliberately trying to confuse her.
Overruled. The witness has been instructed by the bench to answer.
What is it, Miss Duvall? Are you afraid that the jury will find out that Ted Capwell was not the only person you scratched that night? That, in fact, you had another far more serious confrontation with another man, and that, in fact, he was the one who raped you, and not Ted Capwell at all. Isn't that true, Christy?
No, I didn't fight with anyone else. Ted raped me. He came after me, and he raped me, and he left me alone to die, just like I said.
Nathan!
Order. Continue, Mr. Capwell, but be careful not to put words in the witness's mouth.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, Christy, if it's true that you did not have a confrontation with another man that night, then whose skin was it that just happened to find its way under your fingernails on the night in question?
Conclusion.
I don't know. I told you I was in a lot
Answer,
of crowded
please.
places. I was in a lot of crowded places. I could have scratched someone accidentally without noticing it.
While dancing, for example.
Maybe.
Now, you say you don't remember what any of your dance partners were wearing, and now you don't remember whether you might have scratched one of them so hard that his skin stayed underneath your fingernails. Now, what makes you so hazy on this issue, Chrissy? Could you have been under the influence of alcohol or another drug on the night in question?
Objection, Your Honor. The question is totally irrelevant to the issue at hand.
Your Honor, I believe it's important to establish whether or not the witness's perceptions can be considered reliable in this instance.
I will sustain the objection. Please confine your questioning to what took place on the night of the assault.
No, the point is, Your Honor, that it is possible, even probable, that the skin was collected on the night of the assault.
I sustain the objection, Mr. Capwell.
All right, Christy. Let's go back to before the assault, to the argument you had with Ted Capwell over the bracelet that he had bought for somebody else. Will you admit to us that you had admired that bracelet?
Well, who wouldn't? It was a very beautiful bracelet.
And the truth is, you haven't been fortunate enough yourself to own such a costly and delicate piece of jewelry, have you?
No.
You wanted that bracelet all for your own, didn't you, Christy? Now remember, you are under oath.
I think I know what you're trying to do.
You wanted it, and you took it. You were not going to get it fixed, as you previously testified, were you, Christy?
No, I was going to get it fixed. I wasn't stealing it.
You lied about the bracelet, and you lied about the attacker for the same reason, because you're afraid. You're afraid the attacker will come after you and get his revenge if you expose him for who he really is. No. Isn't that true, Christy?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel cannot be permitted to indulge in this kind of blatant harassment.
Mr. Capwell, unless you wish to be cited for contempt, you will cease at once.
I apologize, Your Honor. No further questions.
Nick, I'm sorry I sounded so harsh.
Listen, you wouldn't have said that if you just let yourself remember how we felt about each other here. Come here. I want you to look down here again. Down on that street. We both walked in that street in our wedding clothes, and we stopped right there, and I kissed you. Please let yourself remember that. Remember how you felt just then.
I can't.
Because that's when we both knew how much we really loved each other, right then. I mean, I knew it for a long time, but that's the first time that I felt that you felt it too. There's something else I've got to tell you right now. I never touched you till I was absolutely certain that you loved me as much as I loved you.
Nick, that Kelly was in love, okay? This one is just confused.
There's only one Kelly. And all she has to do is stop being afraid and let herself go. You remember Brigitte?
The rabbit?
Yeah. You let her go because you wanted her to be free. Don't you think you deserve the same gift of freedom? Don't you think you deserve to set yourself free?
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
That man was trying to turn you around 6 ways from Sunday, but you held on.
You showed a lot of courage, honey. I know it must have been hard for you.
Whatever you're telling me, Mr. Kid, I couldn't agree more. Wasn't she something today? That's probably the last time you'll have to take the stand, Christy.
Why?
Well, because the prosecution's case is over. It's the defense's turn to call witnesses for their side. And Judging from the way you handled Mason Campbell this morning, I don't think they'll be calling you.
Mason, I was late. They wouldn't let me in.
You didn't miss much.
What do you mean? I could hear all the noise out here. What happened?
I'd rather not talk about it right now.
All right, we'll just go home. You look exhausted. You need some TLC, and that's what you're going to get. Come on.
Mason, you leaving right away?
Yeah, I'm kind of wiped out, Dad. I just want to get some rest.
All right. I'm going to stay and talk with Ted. The deputy said I could have a few minutes with him before they took him back to jail.
Fine.
Cece, did I hear you say you're going to be able to talk with Ted?
For a minute or two, yes.
Do you mind if I come along? I just want to wish him well and just see him for a few minutes.
Like I said, be all right. Go ahead, son. Get some rest.
I'll drive Mason. I think he looks too tired to get behind the wheel.
All right. But I won't see you two until later this evening. When I finish talking with Ted, I've got to go by and finish up some business at the office.
All right, don't work too hard. Mason will be all right. He'll be fine.
I'm going to see the deputy about Ted.
I'll be right there. All right, you two. I have waited long enough. Today is the day.
Now, Mason said you still have some names to run down of people who bought that shirt. Yeah, Aiden and I finished contacting the last 6 this morning. 4 of them didn't work out. And the last 2, one guy left town about a month ago, and a woman named, Adrian St. Martin just left town for Europe. Now, we're going to do our best to track these people down, so you hang in there, because one of them could pay off any time.
All right, thanks, Cruz. Appreciate it.
It's okay.
So, anything new about who owns the mystery shirt?
Nothing so far.
Oh, gee, that's a shame. Well, I guess maybe Ted Campbell is the right man after all.
I don't think so, Bassett. I really don't.
First of all, why don't you give me your jacket? And then I'll loosen your tie. Now, is there anything I can get you? Something cool to drink?
No, thanks, Gina. I don't want anything. I just want to lie down, try to forget everything.
Oh, Mason, it couldn't have been that bad.
Oh, no. You should have seen it. I did handsprings get that girl to change her story, and she wouldn't budge. And she's lying, Gina. Written all over her face.
Of course she's lying. Ted never would have done anything like that. It's impossible.
I know that, but how am I going to prove it if she refuses to be tripped up? It's a little late in the day for last-minute strategies.
Well, I don't think there's anything you can do when you're this exhausted. You have to give yourself some time to rest and before you can get a second wind on this thing. Tell you what, come upstairs with me. I'll give you a nice long massage. How about that?
All right. You don't have to do that, Gina.
Mason, I want to. It's the least I can do after all the rough times you've helped me through. Now it's my turn to help you, and I consider it a privilege.
Right, get back to you. Where'd Christy go?
She's in the restroom. I think I'll go check on her. I don't want her hiding in there, crying her little eyes out.
What's she crying about? We're batting 1,000 this morning.
Steve, that was very rough on her in there. Mason did everything he could to characterize her as a liar. Mom, should I go get her?
No, I'll go. I'll be right back.
Gee, that defense seemed to think they had something with that shirt, huh?
Oh, yeah, they were acting like it was their big ace in the hole. But you saw what happened. Christy drew a blank. The whole thing laid a big fat goose egg.
You know, I thought that she recognized it at first. What's even stranger is, I thought I recognized it. Didn't she used to have a shirt like that?
Me?
Well, not so unusual. I mean, the stores must sell hundreds of them.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right. Come to think of it, I did have a shirt like that a while back with the same colors, but I must have given it away with the rest of my clothes this spring. I don't have anything like that now. I wonder what's keeping them.
I'm sure that Christy needed some time to get herself together before facing the world. Poor thing. I wish this would end.
It will. Don't worry.
Well, did you see Christy's eyes when Mason just showed her the shirt? I mean, for a minute there, it looked like she was gonna, pass out or something.
It's obvious the girl was lying, son.
The jury has to have seen that too, Ted. Try and remember
Yeah, well, the
that.
jury also saw her stick to her story under pressure. You know, I was so sure Mason was going to get it out of her, but every time it looks like she's going to tell the truth and admit that she's lying, it seems like she gets paralyzed on me or something.
Don't sell Mason short now. I mean, he'll have his chance to present his case and put you on the stand. Now, I defy that jury to disbelieve your story.
I don't know, Dad. I mean, if they believe Christy, they're certainly not going to believe me.
Of course they will, Ted. Now listen, you've got to have some faith. You are not going to go to jail for something that you didn't do. None of us are going to sit around and let that happen to you. You hang in there. I'm going to get out of here and let you have a few minutes alone with your father.
I appreciate you coming. You too, Dad. I needed someone to talk to after this morning.
Well, I tried to see you before this morning's session, but they wouldn't let me. Son, Santana is right. You're not going to lose this case if you don't lose faith in yourself.
Well, I'll try.
Reasonable doubt. Remember that. The jury can't convict someone on circumstantial evidence. Now, once they hear your story, there will be plenty of reasonable doubt in their minds.
I hope you're right. Dad. Look, I gotta go. They said only 5 minutes. I remember what you said.
Don't you think you should answer that?
You're supposed to be relaxing. Pretend you didn't hear it.
Oh, I can. It might be about the case.
Oh, all right. Here you go.
Hello.
Hello? Doesn't seem to be anybody there.
Well, then hang up. I told you, I don't want us to be disturbed.
Santana, I'm going to the office.
Oh, wait a minute, Cece. I was just talking with your secretary on the phone, and she said for me to tell you that the reports you were going to the office for aren't ready yet.
Oh, they're not.
Besides, you look too tired to go back to the office anyway.
And it hurts me to see Ted look so frightened.
I know, I can see how upset you are.
Well, maybe I should go home.
Why don't you let me drive you?
No, that's all right, Santana.
Oh, come on, Cece, you've had a tough day.
I had a heck of a time getting her to come out of there. She keeps saying she just wants to disappear.
Listen, why don't you two wait in the car? I want to talk to her for a little bit. What's the matter with you?
Leave me alone.
We made a lot of points in there, Christy, but you're gonna blow it. People see you getting hysterical. Now pull yourself together, girl.
I can't help it. I can't do this anymore.
Do what? You've already done it. The hard part's over.
No, it's not. I have to sit in that courtroom and watch Ted suffer. I just can't stand it.
Well, you better find a way, sweetheart. Because I'll be damned if I'm gonna let you fall apart when we're so close to victory.
It's too bad. You're not going to tell me what to do anymore.
Maybe you and I have different ideas of what freedom is. All I know is I don't feel free here, Nick. I'm gonna go back to Santa Barbara.
Kelly, please. You're not even giving this a chance. This place was magic for us. And if you just stop fighting it, that magic will return.
It can't. Nick, it's like hoping to catch a dream, and you can't. It's gone forever.
It doesn't have to be that way, not if we don't let it. Kelly, I love you. I've never said that to anybody else before. I never knew love before you. Please, let me help you remember.
Nick, it's no use. It's just not there, okay? Maybe it was in those 3 weeks, but it's not there now. Nick, it hurts me to say that. It does. I mean, I do love you as a friend. How could I not after all we've been through together? But that's all it is for me. That's all it will be with any man.
Because of Joe.
Yeah.
Kelly, Joe is dead. I think the last thing he would have wanted is for you to die with him, and that's exactly what you're doing.
I think he's alive somewhere out there for me. And I'm not gonna let go. Let me get out of here.
All I can say is keep pushing. Do whatever you have to do to trace those people. Because if I can't get through to Christie, finding another suspect is my only hope. Yeah, right, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it more than I can say. Yeah, listen, Cruz, I'll talk to you this afternoon, okay?
How's your headache?
Not too good.
Why don't I get you an aspirin and a glass of water?
That's very kind. I'll be in the study making some calls.
Okay, I'll be right there.